You're now listening to the Pitchside Peregrines podcast, your home for all things Athletic Club Boise.
All right, everybody. Before we get into today's episode, quick shout out to KJO Insurance, the first sponsor of the Pitchside Peregrines podcast. Look, insurance premiums suck, but your coverage doesn't have to. They know Idaho and the Pacific Northwest, and they'll actually find you a deal that makes sense. DM them on Instagram at KJO Insurance with Pitchside, or call 208-883-4800 and tell them Kyle and Elias sent you. All right, let's talk some AC Boise.
Welcome into a special USL Cup Scouting Our Prey episode where we take a deep dive into the Las Vegas Lights, our next and first USL Cup opponent. I'm Elias. And this is my lovely co-host, Kyle.
For today.
We love talking over each other and figuring these things out. But we are so excited to have a cup match to talk about. If you've watched our previous episode where we kind of broke down the USL Cup and what that looks like, if you haven't given it a watch, check it out. It will explain everything for you and give you a greater idea of what this competition is and how Athletic Club Boise could progress and win it. For today, we are doing our traditional kind of backstory about the team, give us a glimpse into who the Las Vegas Lights are, star opponents. We will have some River Guardians on the ground at Las Vegas this weekend, I believe. So hopefully they can cheer loud for the team. But let's just dive right into it.
And send us videos.
Send us videos, yeah. Give us maybe some calls and halftime reports and the like. But Kyle, where do the Las Vegas Lights play?
Yeah, well, I mean, they're one of the teams that, because Boise technically plays at Garden City, and you have all these teams that play in the suburbs. Well, Las Vegas actually plays in Las Vegas. They play at Cashman Field, which is a minor league baseball stadium, which, pros and cons. Pros and cons. We don't love it per se, but it works for them. They've actually been essentially solo in the stadium since their first season in 2018, which is when they were the Las Vegas 51s, I think, which is a AAA baseball team left Cashman Field.
The Area 51s, yes.
Yeah. So they left Cashman Field the first year that the Lights started playing there. So they've essentially had it by themselves for a while now, but it is still a baseball stadium. It's right there I think it's like a 5-minute, 10-minute walk from Fremont Street. But
yeah, it's in North Las Vegas, which my family's
do you have an opinion of North Las Vegas?
Yeah, it's maybe the not so nice part of town.
I mean, it's Fremont Street's right there.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? I don't live there. I just know every time I mention North Las Vegas, my in-laws give me a glare as to why do you want to go there?
Well, fair enough. But no, so they've had it's around a 9,500 capacity. They did really good when it came to attendance in their first couple of seasons. Right after COVID, it looks like they had a really bad drop off, but they've been averaging 3,300 so far this season, well below the capacity. But again, they've been struggling anyways. So this is an uptick from last year and a couple of years before that. So when it comes to, sorry, last.
No, you're okay. I was just going to say, I think that has to do with the product on the pitch, as you maybe I'm jumping the gun, but they haven't finished. They've only finished above halfway in their group once, which was in 2024. It was not until 2024 where they had that result, where they even made a playoff group. So that is just maybe the fear that every promotion team, Athletic Club Boise has, like, if we don't show results on the pitch and have some playoff runs or at least winning games, you can kind of see that slow decay from super hype, super awesome to why are we playing anymore in front of half of what Athletic Club Boise now is averaging in 2 home games.
Yep, exactly. Performances on the pitch are incredibly important. And so, like you had said, they, in their entire history, I think this is their 9th season. They started playing in 2018, and they've only made the playoffs once, and that was in 2024, like you mentioned, where they finished 4th and they lost in the semifinals, unfortunately. But They are apparently moving stadium this next season. This is allegedly their last season. Fun fact: their primary owner is Jose Bautista of Major League Baseball fame, Toronto Blue Jays.
Of
He took
bat flip
over.
fame.
Yes, of bat flip fame, and he took over the team from a man named Brett Lashbrook, who founded the team in 2018. So Jose apparently has some pretty big plans. We'll see where they end up moving, where they end up moving. Are they going to be closer to the strip? Are they going to move? I guess I'm trying to think of what would be available to them because I think UNLV is a long ways out. So it'll be interesting because this is essentially a location fairly close to the strip. So I'd assume they wouldn't want to go too far away, or do they chase the Area 51s? I actually forget what they're called now. I don't think they're
The
called that
Aviators.
anymore. The Aviators, who are
Yeah,
now in
they play in
Henderson.
Summerlin.
Oh, Summerlin. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
So
which is
West
still
Las Vegas.
yeah, still Las Vegas. Las Vegas is a massive city.
Yeah.
They play in a nice stadium. Been there. Nice club. Seats my mother-in-law's company as the naming sponsor, so we
Oh,
always get
nice.
nice tickets when we go to those games. But that is
Perfect.
not what our viewers want to hear about.
No.
But there's plenty of fields. I know, obviously, there's a lot of other major sporting attractions to watch and other attractions in general that maybe outweigh the um, allure of a championship,
Yeah.
USL
I'm
championship.
pretty sure I would say didn't the high school where your wife went, I'm pretty sure the sports fields at that high school is probably better than most USL stadiums. I would
A
guess.
high school. Bishop Gorman is in Las Vegas, which is one of the best high school football
I thought
programs.
that's where she went.
Nah, nope. She did not go
Oh,
to Bishop Gorman. Unfortunately, she's not a private school kid. She's the
mm,
pride of Coronado High School. But yeah, there's a lot of other sporting events. There's AAA hockey. There's the Golden Knights. There's soon to be the Athletics. There's the Raiders. There's all the strip to offer, which are all indoors when it's 120 outside in the summer,
yeah.
versus I'm gonna go to a old AAA baseball field and just get cooked like a fried egg to watch the Las Vegas Lights lose at home. That's kind of tough. So,
Lot
um,
they would be okay with the schedule change that
yeah,
MLS
yeah,
is
yeah,
doing. They
yeah.
would be
I think everyone
pumped.
would be okay with not having to play in Las Vegas in July or June. And I'm excited that we're not playing there in the Cup match in July or June. We get a nice
Very
April
very
weekend.
true.
So, yeah, we're interested to see where that new stadium is, or maybe if a relocation could be possible. Who
Even
knows?
if it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the NBA is potentially coming to Las Vegas too. So there's just a lot of different um, avenues, be it there's no MLS team or other soccer competition. But given its lack of hype, let's just say, versus other things where it's competing right now, we'll be interested to see how they pan out. But back to Las Vegas Lights, the team themselves, not the place they play, since who cares? Uh, head coach is David. Nope. Devin, Devin Rensing, pride of the USA. He was appointed in August of 2025 and comes from being an assistant. Comes from being an assistant from USL Championship side Memphis 901 and the Charleston Battery. Some former head coaches were Eric, oh gosh,
Winalda.
Winalda, which was their inaugural coach from 2018 through COVID, and Steve Poof, Chur
Trundolo,
Trundalo, which was
who
he was
are
there for.
both for the reason they are notable is because they are both U.S. men's national team legends. Like absolutely, like two. Like Steve Trundolo was a captain for a long time. He might be top five, top 10 in appearances for the men's national team. Played in Europe. Both of these guys played in Europe, which is again in the '90s. It was rare for for American players as a whole. So, and Eric Winalda is also known like he's big in like the soccer space when it comes to podcasts and
Ooh.
radio. He's a feisty dude. He's not he hasn't shied away from controversy. He's kind of like Alexi Lawless. Like I feel like him and Alexi
Ah,
Lawless are two peas in a pod when it comes to their takes on soccer. And I think it's funny because I think they've gotten in a few fights. So yeah, they're it's an interesting group. So yeah, Eric Winalda and Steve Trundolo. Trundolo has a little bit of a better reputation, I guess you'd say. He was the U.S. men's national team captain. So to go from those two guys to the current head coach, who slightly unproven,
Yeah,
possibly at this level. Obviously, he got the job for a reason, but assistant coach for most of his career. So, you never want to see someone fail at their job. So hopefully it works out for him. But
yeah,
he's got big shoes to fill when it comes to reputation in the game as a
for sure.
whole. Not necessarily performance as a coach, but just those are big names.
Yeah,
So
big names, but bad results. As we mentioned, they did not perform well under those
no,
two big names. So
no.
that explains why they're no longer coaching the team. We forgot to mention how Las Vegas is currently doing so far in this year of the USL Championship. They have played 6 matches, 1 win, 2 draws, and 3 losses with a -2 goal differential. And they were not in the U.S. The Lamar Hunt Open Cup, so they have no results out of that. As for the teams they've played, it's kind of been a mixed bag where they're losing to teams that are far better than them. They have a draw against a team that's right around them. Their one loss comes from the Monterey Bay side, who is the worst team in the Western Conference in the USL Championship. So they sit second from worst in the USL Championship with 5 total points. So not the strongest of sides and a great maybe entry to the USL Cup for AC Boise, given that they are not the strongest opponent for a championship side to go to them and face them versus maybe a Sacramento FC or Sacramento Republic, where going to Sacramento could maybe be daunting for a top end team in the Western Conference of the championship. So as we love to do, we love to look into players to watch, and Kyle and I have kind of taken a look at the Lights' past matches, maybe some names that stood out to us. I'd like to cover one who is someone who I saw on the score sheet more than once or twice, and that is number 43, Abraham Okereye. He was a new signing as of this year. He's a 23-year-old Ghanaian midfielder, central midfield, attacking midfield, kind of plays all over the place. Think of a Tumi Moshaban as maybe the like for like player that to compare to Athletic Club Boise, just to give it to, I guess, an easy comparison for our listeners. Averaging about a 7.1 average for the games this year, which anything a 7 or above means you're contributing and not doing nothing, which he has done things. He currently has played 5 games and has 3 goals. So he's definitely pumping out goals. He's played all over the world, it looks like. He's played in Belgium, he's played in the Indian second tier, he's played in the Finnish first tier, the Finnish third tier. Kind of got a lot of stamps on the passport, and now he's ended up in sunny Las Vegas. To think he's played in all those places and he's only 23 years old is quite impressive, to say the least. Playing, yeah, 5 seasons in 3 different countries.
hmm
Now his 6th season in a fourth country is quite impressive to him. But yeah, his goals seemed quite beautiful. Again, a Tumi Moshaban type build where he is just kind of an offensive threat that is creative and kind of can make his own shots and make his own chances from himself. He doesn't need much service or give him an inch, he'll take a mile kind of player. So someone to definitely watch out on the offensive side. Kyle, do you have maybe a defensive player that we want to keep our eyes out for?
Yes, I do, and that would be 32-year-old Mexican center back Aaron Guillen, another new signing. He actually joined the team after spending 6 seasons, played with both Nick Moon and Blake Bodley down in Tampa Bay. So he was with the Rowdies for 6 seasons, making 171 appearances. Prior to that, he had spent some time with FC Dallas in the MLS. He had also played for North Carolina FC, also in the USL Championship, making 57 appearances for them over 2 seasons. So yeah, he's definitely a very experienced player, and this is his first season with Las Vegas, but he's been their top performer, coming in with a 7.25 rating. And this is a guy who he's going to play. Trying to compare him stylistically, it seems like he's more of a Jacob Kroll type center back, where Jonathan, he's a good ball progressor when it comes to dribbling. He's going to carry the ball out of the back line, and then Jake, he is the central defender. He's not going to progress the ball really dribbling or ball carrying. He is a good passer of the ball, but I think Jacob Kroll is definitely the guy you want on the ball the most, and I think Aaron Guillen definitely fills that role for the Las Vegas Lights, and he's made one appearance in the USL Championship Team of the Week. Again, playing six, he started every game so far. So Nick and Blake are definitely going to know how he plays. But so far he's had a good season. It's been a bad season overall, but this is a player who can hold his head up high, and because he has performed well.
We love that. We love a player comparison, and we love someone who is sound in the back line. As Boise has seen, we have an amazing back line. So I am really excited to see how a Dennis Kostishin or how Luan or Toomey or whoever ends up playing in this match against Las Vegas can maybe kind of pick apart Aaron and see how we can find some weaknesses in him, be it he gets too confident and tries to carry the ball too high. Obviously, Nick Moon and Blake have played with him, and maybe know some of his weaknesses, or maybe his uh, what's the word? Um,
Just insights.
Tendencies. There's the
Yeah,
word.
tendency. Yeah, there you
To
go.
when you pressure him, he's always going to try and look for an outlet pass to the left or whatever it is,
Hmm.
to maybe try and exploit him given their experience. But the same can be said vice versa, that he's played with Nick and Blake and know their tendencies pretty well. So with that, we have one more player who kind of stood off the page, and that is number 27, Italian defensive midfielder Giorgio Probo. Yeah, that's how you say it. He
Yeah,
signed
you
with
got it.
2025, so he's got a year under his belt with Las Vegas. This is his second season, 7.2 rated player, and he's kind of played all over, Kyle. You want to give us maybe a breakdown of where he's been?
Yeah, absolutely. So Giorgio, he had spent time with the Atalanta Youth Academy in Italy before moving on to, I don't know if I'm going to say that one. Borgosesio Calcio, where they play in Serie D in Italy. So he played there for 2 seasons, only made 8 appearances across 2 seasons before he actually moved on to Vermont Green in the USL 2 in 2023. And he had made 12 appearances before he then moved on to the Halifax Wanderers of the Canadian Premier League, which is where he kind of cemented himself as a starting player for them over the 2 seasons, making 44 appearances and scoring 6 goals. And he definitely he fits more. So Las Vegas is going to either play in a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-1-4-1, and he can play in both that single pivot as the defensive midfielder, or also as again slotting into the defensive midfielder slot in a double pivot in the 4-2-3-1. When it comes to his defensive capabilities, he does compare to Philip Mayaka. However, how they progress the ball, I think that's the biggest difference, is that he's much more of a deep lying playmaker when it comes to passing. So he's going to look for the pass to progress the ball, versus Philip is more of a, again, ball carrying. He's more than Jonathan Ricketts, where he gets on the ball and he's gonna move and rely on short passing and pass and move, versus Giorgio, who's gonna be a little bit more focused on positioning, more focused on trying to find the through ball and make the key passes, because he is a really highly rated player. He doesn't have any goals or assists, but that shows his impact off the ball. And also, kind of might be the pass before the assist type player.
Hockey
So
assists.
yeah, hockey assists. So he's another. Those are 3 guys that I think we should look out for, and who we assume. Again, this is always assumptions. We think they're going to start. We were 100% on the 3 guys that we said we're going to start for Westchester. So maybe we could start tracking that. It's like, was Kyle's research accurate, or was our research accurate? We could start tracking that.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
think
those.
these cup games, you never know who's going to start or sit.
Mhm.
As we mentioned in our USL Cup breakdown, we don't know what Nate Miller views these matches are. I'd assume, given his competitiveness and his want to win whatever he can and get as many trophies in Boise as possible, that he's going to put out a strong side. But the same can't be said to a Las Vegas side who is playing the Oakland Roots on Wednesday night, 3 days before their cup draw against Athletic Club Boise. So Boise will have that advantage of having a week's rest and a week to focus on this cup match versus Las Vegas, who's going to be not limping in, but on 2 nights rest to play a home match against Athletic Club Boise. So be interested to see if they bring out a competitive lineup or if they kind of bring out maybe the B team and see how they perform. And then maybe in the 60th or 70th minute, sub on the starters, like maybe a Premier League side playing a National League side does sometime in the FA Cup. Not saying that Athletic Club Boise versus Las Vegas Lights is anything like that. Jake Dangler, do not come after us. We're not trying to
Please,
say that you are.
please,
Um,
please don't.
but I think it'll be an interesting game. I think it'll be a competitive match, and we will get into that on the back end of this ad break before we dive into maybe our performance expectations and why we think this game pans out. So here's a quick word from today's sponsor. Insurance premiums suck, but your coverage doesn't have to. KJO Insurance is local. They know Idaho, and they'll make sure you're not getting ripped off. It's really easy. DM at KJO Insurance on Instagram with keyword pitchside or call 208 883 4800. Tell them the podcast sent you. You'll be covered. Now, back to today's episode.
We're gonna jump right into. Do we want to do score prediction? No, lineup predictions.
Yeah.
Or we feel, yeah, we can do lineup predictions first, and kind of along the theme where we've been talking about how competitive Nate Miller is, and also we don't have as much match congestion as Las Vegas does. So I could see this being a very unchanged lineup, in
Mm-hmm.
my opinion. I think based off of his solid performance, if untested per se, I think Cleaward keeps a spot. And I don't think it's really controversial in this week. I think it's just you have to hit a clean sheet no matter. And I feel like no matter what, even if it was a mostly a center back or defensive midfielder, whoever, kept Westchester at bay, it still reflects kindly on the goalkeeper.
Yep.
So I think Cleaver keeps his spot, and really, I think the only question really moving through the center backs, I think they're going to stay the same. Moving into midfield, I think they're going to stay the same, except for Blake. I don't know when it comes to his injury. I don't know how
Yeah.
serious that was at the end of the Westchester game. So maybe I could see Keegan coming in
Yeah.
and taking that spot for the game. And I do think that Luan comes back in.
Mm-hmm.
I do. And it wasn't just because he scored. It wasn't. I just think I don't know. I didn't. It's such an interesting strike because again, I think with Dennis, obviously he's getting forward and he's scoring, but I still see more of a central attacking midfielder. So it's a 4-2. It's a 3-4-2-1 versus a 3-4-1-2. So I would say Dennis never leaving that lineup. I could
Yeah,
see
he's
him
got a
starting
motor
every
on him, I
single. Yeah.
don't think, barring injury.
So but I think Luan comes in. I think Thomas. I mean, again, Thomas was busy. Thomas was busy last game. He was running. He obviously stiff armed a dude before Toomey scored or was at Dennis's first goal. But I think I don't know. That's a tough one. I think Nate just might go with the hot hand and you just be like, well, I mean, Luan scored. So here you go.
Yep.
Here's the hot hand and just see how it goes. But otherwise, unchanged except for yeah, basically unchanged. If Blake is healthy, he starts. If he's not, then it'll be Keegan Euler, and I think Luan comes in. Elias, do you see things differently?
Um, I think the only question mark I have is maybe besides Blake's availableness. I know yeah, we don't know if he's really injured or if it was precautionary. My only maybe question mark would be Charlie Adams. No performance issues. It's just Charlie has yet to play a back-to-back game
Mm.
and has not played an away match. I don't think there's any like he doesn't play away. He only plays at home. But at least in every game, or at least in Spokane he played. Then he was slotted into the lineup, but didn't play against AV Alta. So I don't know if that was injury or whatever it was. But Musa did slot in. So that's the only area I think of the pitch where I'd be keeping my eyes on is, does
Mm.
Musa slot in? Is it Charlie?
Yeah,
Is
you
he
make a very good point there. Yeah.
still kind of maybe nursing whatever injury Charlie had at the beginning of the season and still just kind of getting up to speed? Who knows? I'm not Charlie. He doesn't keep us posted. He shouldn't. um, but I think besides what you mentioned, that's the only other area of the pitch that I would expect something. Now, if Nate Miller says pitch side peregrines, I really want to test your guys's ability, and he says I don't want to start. I want to start a bunch of players who haven't played yet or aren't your name starters. Then forget everything we're saying, and we'll see what the starting lineup is on Saturday. But I would say if they want to keep this high and put out what Nate Miller thinks is our most competitive team to win in the USL one, I guess, campaign. That's who we assume he's lining up. Now, if he wants these cup matches to be more of a development for like Dominic Gasso, for a Johansson, for a Hayden Sargis or Jackson Stevens, they could get starts and we could see them have some time and see how they perform against this championship side. I don't think they're doing that this early on since it's the first game of the cup. You want to put your best foot forward at the start of the group. And then if a result happens and you lose this game, then we can talk about, okay, possibilities of us winning the group or lessened because of an unfortunate loss. Let's maybe let a Bani and Yao, if fit, come at least make the bench, and
Mm.
maybe get some minutes if Nate sees that. We're not Nate Miller. We don't know these athletes' abilities as good as he and the coaching staff do. We're just doing our best guess based on what we're seeing on the pitch and how we feel. But at the end of the day, it is Nate's decision. So,
Yep. Very
all that
true.
to be said, um, I'm
Now,
interested to see
I
how Las
do.
Vegas
Yeah.
puts out. I don't know. I'm not doing a deep dive into their B team. We'll just see
Yeah.
on Saturday what they roll out, and we'll put out an Instagram post or something on Twitter saying this seems to be a pretty strong side from Las Vegas, or I've never seen a name on this list for their starting lineups, and
Yeah,
they've brought
that's
in my
fair.
father-in-law to play goalie. Maybe who knows? Chip would be
Oh,
a
Chip
menace
would
in the
be
goals.
solid. Chip would be solid. Now, I guess following up on your point about Charlie Adams, who obviously I think we'd both assume Musa would start. Would you want to see Dom come in and start that game? Because I kind of would. I just want to. He's come on in it on every single game,
Mhm.
and I think he still will. Even if Musa starts, Dominic also will play because that's just he's been one of the first guys off the bench every single game. But I think he's done well. I think he's done really well every time he's come off the bench. He adds a little bit different element compared to Musa and compared to Philip, where he is a bit where Philip and Musa are both. I would still qualify them as like defensive midfielders. I think Dom is that hybrid box to box that I think Philip was in the first two games, and maybe Dominic isn't quite as cavalier like swashbuckling like Philip was in those first two games where he was just the best player on the pitch. But I think Dominic does fall well into that hybrid, number eight role. So would you like to see Dominic come in, or would you rather see Musa just because of the consistency that he's brought? And maybe that will give Philip more room to play forward, where Musa would free up Philip, while Philip would have to like be the kind of the holding midfielder that would free up Dominic. How
Yeah,
would you want to see that play out?
that's an interesting question. Um, Personally, I think letting maybe the fan base learn and watch a Dominic Gasso get a start and kind of see what he has for more than maybe a 20-minute cameo or a 30-minute performance in the second half of either a game where you're up 3-0 or losing at the time or whatever instance he's entering the game at, giving him a full or 60, 70 minutes could be interesting for his confidence, B, his just letting the fan base learn other players that aren't a Musa, Philip, and so on and so forth. And that's something we, as in me and Kyle, want to try and be better about, is highlighting the players on the bench and giving you, the listeners,
Hmm.
a little bit more about them. So that would be great for us to be able to speak more about Dom Gasso and not just say that he is, it's death, taxes, and Dom Gasso coming in as a
Coming
65th
on.
minute sub,
Yeah.
that give him a starting opportunity and see what he really can do with the starting 11 fully fit and
I
fully fresh.
It was interesting to see him the last game because he did each game before that. It seems like he's like kind of subbed on and played in the defensive midfielder role in a different way, but on paper that's where he's slotting in. Last game it seemed like he was definitely more in the attacking midfielder role. He was playing much further forward. I don't know if on paper that's specifically where he was. I don't think he came on for Toomey in that spot per se. I'm trying to rack my brain,
Yeah,
but
I think it was probably
he
because
was
we had
playing much
five
further
center
forward.
backs on at the pitch
Mm.
at once, because we
So
had
yeah,
Musa, Ricketts, Krull, Dengler, Sargis. So it was like a back
yeah.
four with Musa at defensive midfield,
Hmm.
and then yeah, letting
Yeah,
Dom kind of be that
he was like a
Toomey role.
left-sided attacking midfielder almost, but
Yeah.
yeah, that he would bring a different element. And I guess if you're really chasing a game, you could all of a sudden, if Charlie's in, you could make it a Charlie and Dominic Gasso midfield,
Yeah.
midfield two. That would look interesting.
Yeah,
But
because
no,
Toomey
no,
has
that's
yet to be subbed off in any capacity, I want to say.
hmm yeah,
He has
except
played
for the
every
game where
minute of
he
every game.
when he starts, when he
Yeah.
plays, because he
Yeah.
was hurt. But all right, Elias. Well, I think no matter what, we're going to bring out a strong lineup. I really
I
do.
think so too.
And given that we're going to bring out a strong lineup, how do you feel this result is going to go? How do you think we're going to do? This will be our score prediction.
Yeah, this will go towards our running totals. Man, it's going to be a tricky one, just with all the unknowns of sides and who's starting, who's sitting for primarily Las Vegas and not Boise, where I think I'm uh, confident in their ability and what the starting lineup could look like. But again, we could come Saturday and it's complete backwards. Las Vegas has not scored more than 2 goals in any match this season. They're averaging 1.4 goals per game, so definitely not high scoring events. They've let in 3 goals, three different occasions, and are obviously have a negative goal differential. So there's opportunity to be exploited. Uh, my heart says a 2-1 win in regulation. My other heart, because I have two hearts, obviously, um, says a 1-1 draw with
Mm.
a penalty shootout win.
Oh, I'm surprised you're
So
not more confident.
I don't know. Uh, I feel like
It's
these
hard.
first
It's hard.
matches
Yeah.
against USL Cup teams or
Hmm.
USL One teams, I'm kind of shooting from the hip. And
Yeah,
Kyle and I
this is
both are.
true.
We haven't seen this. When Boise plays Westchester a second time, I'll be far more confident in what this team can do since the respective butt whooping we gave them. But I'm gonna lock in, I think, a 2-1 straight up
Mm.
win in the warm but not hot climate of Las Vegas. And first goal scorer,
Don't,
I've got to give it to the hot hand.
don't,
Give me
don't.
Dennis Kostishin to
Dang
score the
it.
first goal. I'll be the one to say if Dennis doesn't do
Um,
it, it's a Kyle thing, and I'm not gonna ever mention him to be my first goal scorer ever again. But yeah, 2-1 with Dennis scoring the opener.
darn. Well,
I think I took
I'm
that perfectly from you.
yeah. 2-0.
2-0.
2-0. I don't think these guys. I don't know. I just my. I'm just leaning in, and I just don't see it. I just don't see this team doing much against us the way this last game was such a confidence booster because we played a team that was in good form. They just scored 2 goals against NYCFC, and they've been overperforming their XG all season. And this was a good attacking team that we just faced in Westchester, and we put them to the sword. Like we absolutely crushed them. So I think we're going up against a team that's low in confidence. We're going up against a team who isn't scoring much and who they're giving up goals too. So not a ton, not a crazy amount. So I don't see us, running rampant like we did against Westchester. But yeah, I think 2-0 is a safe score. I'm very upset that you took Dennis. But I'm gonna steal Ryan from the River Guard. He guesses this every single time. Give me Jake Dengler. I think Jake Dengler is gonna score his first goal, a header, obviously from a corner.
Jake
Charlie
effing
Adams.
Dengler. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
yes, that is a killer T-shirt too. I do like it, and it got Dengler's approval. I saw that he reposted it. I don't know if I'm gonna buy it. Um, but I do like it. I do like it. I just don't know. I got a 2-year-old, and I feel like she's gonna see that and just be like, "Oh, crap!" She's already said it
What's
once.
F? What's
It's
this
not my fault.
F?
It
I
is
like this
not my
F.
fault. It is not my fault that she said it, but she said it one time. Not my
Hey,
fault.
not your fault. You're
Wasn't
the
me.
bigger guy.
But
Uh,
yeah, I'm gonna go with Jake. Jake's gonna score.
Nice. Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see. It's going to be a fun outing and a fun event. As mentioned, there will be some River Guardians. Hopefully, they're on site. I did look at trying to make it, kind of make it a family trip, but schedule conflicts and whatnot. So we'll not be down in sunny Las Vegas this weekend to be have a pitch side Peregrine on site, but we will rely on our friends at the River Guard to maybe give us some on site.
How nice is it gonna be in Vegas? How jealous are we about to be? Because it's
It
gonna be
was
crummy
super
up here.
windy there today, according to the mother-in-law. So,
Well, it's
um,
windy here too. Have you looked
yeah, it
outside?
is gnarly.
What
We
is it,
will,
Saturday? Oh, 75.
yeah,
That's just nice.
nice and sunny as it always is in Las
Oh,
Vegas. So,
and windy, lo and
yeah,
behold.
which AG Boise has played in two very windy games already, so we
Yeah.
have experience under the wind. But yeah, just to fully recap, Elias 2-1 victory. Dennis scoring. Please, Dennis, score the first goal so I can claw my way
He's
back in
gonna
this
be so
competition.
happy with you.
And Kyle will be a 2-0 victory with a Jake effing Dengler header going in for his.
And just kissing ass. Just kiss.
Oh
It's like
yeah, I mean
not only is it a clean sheet, but it's also a Jake Dengler goal.
first
So
goal.
yeah, yeah,
Jake
yeah.
Dengler yellow card.
Oh yes, 100%. Yes, 100%, 100%.
He has 0 yellow cards in this competition, so he can
Man,
get a USL Cup yellow
Cumulate.
card and
I
take the
wonder.
lead.
I wonder if it is like England, where if it's in English competition, then it like applies across the board, or I wonder if it is like a separate accumulation.
Who
Yeah,
knows? I didn't look into that, and we'll give
yeah.
our fans the answer
That's too.
sometime.
That's way too in the weeds for us.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
that's like the core of the earth. We're trying to talk about the crust and the mountains themselves.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
well, that is all for today's Scouting Our Prey of the Las Vegas Lights. We really hope that you enjoyed today's episode, learned something, took something out, and
Quick note.
Kyle
Quick note.
obviously has something to say.
We should put it on the screen now. The Las Vegas Lights kit that they're gonna wear for this
Oh, the
game
Red
is
Rocks kit,
it's
yes.
pretty nice. I like Joma. Joma is the kit manufacturer. I feel like they're super hit and miss. I feel like where people most likely saw them was when Norwich was last in the Premier League. They had Joma kits, I believe. I mean, Norwich were terrible that season, but their kits were really nice. So Joma, yeah, that's it's pretty sweet. So I'll give him props for that. Las Vegas Lights have had some decent kits over the years.
They always love we love a good kit and yeah, I think they're pretty cool, nice collar and nice paying respects to the Red Rock National Preserve. It's a nice walking path and a nice little uh, area where there's a bunch of conveniently red rocks. So
Makes
that's what
sense.
they will be wearing. They'll be debuting them against Athletic Club Boise. So interested to see if Athletic Club Boise will be wearing their aways or homes, since black and red wouldn't really clash. But I'd assume they're just going to
I'd
be wearing
assume white and
aways
green.
just to
Yeah.
be
I mean, and the
just to
ways
keep.
our ways are nice. So
Yeah, I like them a little bit more than our homes, but
yeah.
that is not a topic of conversation to keep this episode going. Like, comment, your score predictions below. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever. It means a bunch. Ring that bell if you're on YouTube and you want to keep up to date on our latest episodes. We always love early interactions and comments. We read them all and try to at least see them and maybe reply. I don't know. But we look forward to seeing how the team performs on Saturday. And until then, we will talk to you for a post-game episode Sunday afternoon.
You might have a different co-host. We will see.
We
Who
will see.
knows?
We've already gotten some inquiries. Reach out on Instagram if you have any interest in hosting with me for some post-match interviews in May. That's all. Goodbye.
Bye.
That's all for today's episode. If you enjoy the show, make sure to like, comment, share with a friend, and make sure you're following the show wherever you listen. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube for all updates and future content to come. If you want to help support the pod and get access to exclusive content, early episodes, and bonus perks, head over and check out our Patreon. It truly helps us keep this thing growing. Thanks again for listening. Thanks for being part of the community, and we'll catch you in the next one.